You remember where we went and got the tickets, Lori? I mean, Caroline?
Yeah.
Across the street, and then we took the bus over?
Yeah.
It's all gone.
Oh. Wow. There's the plane.
See? It's all torn down.
That's wild.
Destroyed.
Wait, the museum?
Yeah, it's all gone.
Why?
They're rebuilding it all.
Well, that's crazy.
It is crazy.
Wait, is that where they had the really bad projector screen?
No, that was behind the house.
Oh, okay.
But see, they've done something back here. They've got those buildings, which used to be a factory of some sort. So I guess that's where you go get your Elvis stuff now. Here, maybe? Do not enter shuttles only. See, I don't know if you were going to buy a ticket to go to the house, I don't know where you would go.
Maybe they got the house shut down for a while.
Uh-oh, the bus has had a little situation.
It's scraping.
But that's where me and Trina and Alton stayed at that hotel right there.
That was when I was pregnant with
Yep,
Carol.
that bus ain't just scraping, he's stuck.
Yeah. That's a bad day for Mr. Bussy Bus.
And look, we were at the hotel, and this guy that looked just like Elvis pulled up.
Oh gosh.
And I looked at the guy, the bellboy, and I said, "Does that happen?" He said, "More times than you know."
It was so funny. The guy it was almost creepy.
It is creepy. It ain't almost creepy. Friends, this is the famous Gates of Graceland. This right here, there's a portrait I'm going to show you of Elvis standing here just like this right here at these particular gates. And the reason I'm doing this at night is because there's so many cars and so many people. These gates are not closed during the day, so it's a thing where I'm closing it at night so I can show you. There's a thing where he's standing in the middle of the gate. Of course, the gate's not open. There's a thing where he's sitting here doing this and looking, and it's at this angle, so I'm going to show you those pictures. Stay tuned. So friends, this is the Elvis in front of the famous gates, and notice there's no guard shack there for one thing. This is when the gate was first put in, and here's an invoice for the actual gate part, $1,339 including tax, and here's an invoice, or a check, I mean, for partial payment on the gate, basically the installation and that kind of stuff. So friends, I am spending some time this weekend, Memorial Day weekend, filming in Memphis, some more Elvis stuff. And I happen to be right here at the Gates of Graceland. You can see that is the gates and the house right there behind me. I'm actually on my Segway riding around shooting some footage. And I'm going to show you some stuff that's going on, some Elvis things, do some picture comparisons. You know my thing that I do. Tighten up, friends. Stay tuned. Go to my YouTube channel if you want to see any of these things. That is Spa Guy on YouTube, or Weekly Spa Guy, and I put all of my Elvis related stuff on there. So go there now, friends. So subscribe or subscribe here. Thank you so much for watching. I'm the Spa Guy. So that's the new buildings back there, the gray ones again, friends, and I'm coming the other way. You can see all those buildings right there have been torn down. So I am heading in to the new museum and all those areas, and we're going to check it out and see what's going on. So this is what the new stuff looks like, friends. They've got the Gates of Graceland up here. And I was actually over here not too long ago, but you know what? I remember they had something big up here like a wall. And they were building this evidently behind the wall, and that's why I didn't notice it. I bet you I got it on my drone footage though, so I'm gonna go back and look. There's the Gates of Graceland. Wow. Friends, this is what the new place looks like, and you see they got the Gates of Graceland. You go in, they got ticketing there, and they say that there's a giant car museum here and stuff, so let's go in and check it out. So friends, this right here is what it looks like out here at the new Graceland area. If you look, you can see this is the new New ticketing area. And then they've got shops here. They've got food, milkshakes, Vernon Smokehouse. They say that the barbecue is really good over there at that smokehouse. So we're going to explore some of the rest of this. As you go in, you can see that there's areas over there. They've got the jumpsuits here. They've got the car museum. They've got all kinds of different stuff here. So we're going to go explore those things, friends. Come with. You want to? Although they don't advertise it, they do offer what they call Elvis's Memphis, which is a $28 ticket where you can see the new stuff that is here. And you can see there's a sound stage, jumpsuits, car museum, the Hall of Gold. All those things are right here. So that's what I did. Come with. So it's just a giant room with Elvis on the big screen and some fold-up chairs. Not what I was expecting. You can barely even hear it. So in here they have the Sam Phillips story and also the Marty Stewart collection. Marty Stewart lives in the same town I do. And so let's go in and see. So the Marty Stewart collection. The Truth of Country Music, the real stuff will prevail, Marty Stewart.
Even though they obviously not. Huh.
So this was worn by Little Jimmy Dickens. And these are things that are personally owned by Marty. He's got quite a collection. Hank Snow. That's a press release from the Colonel. That show will consist of Farron Young, the Wilburn brothers, Elvis Presley, Mother Maybelle, and the Carter sisters. Pretty cool. Loretta Lynn, blue dress. Merle Travis wore. Jerry Lee Lewis wore. Hank Snow wore. Carrie Underwood. Carrie is not that tall. That's a stage guitar used by Marty Stewart. Very cool. That's the Fabulous Superlatives outfits. Marty's band. Sun Record, they didn't spell it right. That's Sam Phillips Shell credit card. 60 convertible that belonged to Sam. And this was bought, I'm sure, at Madison Cadillac. Sam Phillips Grammys. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction. And the Country Music Hall of Fame induction. So friends, this is the original board that Sam Phillips purchased in 1954. And he used it on all of the Elvis, Carl Perkins, Johnny Cash, Jerry Lee, Roy Orbison, Billy Lee Riley, Sonny Burgess, Charlie Rich, and many others. And you can see Elvis's name on the blue tape right there. That was a vocal channel, monitor channel. And that's the tape machine that was used at the same studio. Now, when he sold Elvis to RCA and moved around the corner, he took this around the corner and it stayed in that studio and was brought here for display. And you can see the machine right here with Elvis, Bill Black, Scotty Moore, Sam Phillips. Me and Scotty were in business together. You can see the console, and there it is right there. Right there. Right there, friends. And this was a Memphis Federation of Musicians contract between Elvis and Sun Records. You can see the Sun Records down at the bottom down here. You can see Elvis's name, 706 Union Avenue, July 30th, 1954. That was his first recording contract. And this is where Sam Phillips sold the rights to Elvis through the Colonel to RCA, or gave the Colonel the rights to buy it. It was $5,000. It was $25,000 or $35,000 total, if I remember correctly. Here, friends, they've redone the fair at Tupelo that Elvis would have attended. And they have old kind of games like shooting galleries with the darts and the bottle, ring the bottle, and they even have where you can come in here and dress up and get your pictures made. They got popcorn and stuff, little stage. You got this old timey man of war game, the derby races. It's cool stuff like that. It's very interesting. And this is Vernon's income tax statement right here. It shows he made $539.60 in 1943. Elvis would have been 8. And this is Elvis Presley's show at Tupelo, September 26, 1956. This was done by Colonel, and you can see none of the acts have a rider except for Elvis. And it says he at no time works in white light. Throughout his act, use color wheel, open the light blue as he is introduced. He comes out in the light blue spot on no light. Throughout his act, use all light options, light pink, amber, yellow, light blues, and greens. Do not use heavy colors. Should the spotlight equipment be inadequate to handle this, it may be necessary to resort to white, but in that event, the light operator will be so advised. Unless otherwise advised, stay strictly with color. Sound operator, note that during Elvis's act, all 3 microphones must be available for use. Note down at the bottom, light operator and sound operator should check their lines so as to avoid the possibility of an overload on the circuit. It is suggested, I'm sure it is suggested that the power for the PA set be separate from the power line for the spots. In the event that it is not possible, kindly make sure that there is no possibility of an overload with the consequential interruption of the show, sound, and light. Interesting. And this is the American Federation's contract through Colonel Tom Parker, All-Star Shows, Box 417, Madison, Tennessee. And there's the check for $200. He just marked out First National Bank, put National Bank. And here, friends, that's an Elvis shot target. Elvis shot bullet casing. Elvis and Nixon. And if you want an Elvis suit, friends, they have them right here. The Burn and Love suit with the cape and the belt is $2,570. They're well done. I have to give them that. These are not original belts, but they're made by the same people that made them for Elvis. It's B&K Enterprises. Here's another one, Robert Polson. And he makes these things It's interesting. I wonder how much they are. That's the Aloha from Hawaii, but I'll find out a price. So friends, this is the original Elvis to RCA contract written on Peabody Hotel stationery, November 21st, 1955. And there's Elvis's first #1. This is the acetate, written by May Axton and Tommy Duran. May lived in my town, Hoyt Axton's mama. And I've got some videos about May's house as well that I'm working on. Friends, this is the key to the city of Tupelo given to Elvis. I'll try to find the picture of him receiving this. I remember seeing one. There it is right there. So that's Elvis, Vernon, Gladys, and the mayor of Tupelo, James Ballard. And there's Elvis on stage, and there's Scotty Moore behind him. That's his hand. And that's Scotty's Ray Butts amp that I've played that Ray Butts amp before. I played through it. Scotty let me play through it, which was very cool. One of only 5 made, and Scotty and Chet got 2 of them, 1 each. It was on the stage with Elvis at the beginning and on all of the original recordings. Friends, this is the gold LeMay suit that you remember Elvis wearing. And this suit hung in the Colonel's house until Elvis Presley Enterprises made a deal with them and they went and got everything. And it was one of the things that hung in that closet that I showed you at the Colonel's house.
So I'm going to show y'all this gold LeMay suit over here.
So friends, I'm going to tell you a story about this guitar right here. This was the chair used in the '68 comeback special. This was the guitar that Elvis was playing. But if you watch the '68 comeback special, he played this for the first song. Scotty was playing the electric guitar, and he played lead. He was there to play lead, and he told me that he was mad at Elvis because after the first song, he handed Scotty this guitar, and he finished the show playing Scotty's guitar, so he was playing lead, and you couldn't hear him at all. So if you don't believe me, go back and pull the '69 comeback special up, and you watch and see if Elvis doesn't take Scotty's guitar after the very first song. You heard it here, friends. That's something that I'd never noticed before, but Scotty pointed it out to me and said that he was mad at Elvis because he had taken his guitar and he was sitting there and felt like a fool playing this guitar because nobody could hear him. And that's the actual chair that he was sitting in. Right there, friends, Gibson J200. That's Scotty Moore's Super 400. This is the one that they played on the '68 comeback special. So when Elvis took Scotty's guitar, this is the guitar that he took. That is the actual guitar right there, friends. You see it says Super 400, which is not something that you can buy off the shelf. So there it is, friends. That is the actual guitar. I told you the story about the acoustic guitar, the J200. This is Scotty's guitar, and it is the actual one. So the second guitar, the one that was Scotty's, is in the Hard Rock Cafe, all right off of Bill Street there in Memphis. And if you'll notice, you see that that's the 2 guitars. Scotty is playing Elvis's guitar, and Elvis is playing Scotty's guitar, just like I said. And now you know the rest of that story, friends, as told to me by Scotty Moore himself. This is the '68, This is the Aloha from Hawaii, televised 1973. That is the actual cape worn on the television show, and that is the actual suit. Now, where the belt is, I don't know. I'm sure it's somewhere because it's iconic. It can stand on its own without this suit, but that is the actual suit right there, friends. The real thing. And I love the blue inside the cape. Now, I believe that he threw a cape. In fact, we're going to go over and look. This is him at the end. Oh no, this is him at the beginning. Charlie Hodge just handed him his guitar that has the Kenpo sticker on it. So that suit that he is wearing right there is in fact that suit right there. So they have the jumpsuits out. Most of these jumpsuits were at the Colonel's house in that closet, because you got to consider, the thing you got to think about is when Elvis passed, nobody was expecting him to pass. So where was his jumpsuits? Where were his outfits? The Colonel had them. That's where they were. He always kept up with that stuff. So after Elvis passed, he gathered all that stuff up, put it in his house, and held it until he could be paid for it. White line. You can see this place is laid out pretty nice. It's got a lot of new stuff in it. But they had, a lot of this stuff was at the house. They've just moved it over here. All of this stuff was inside of the racquetball room. They moved it over here. And they had made a room in the back of the house for all these jumpsuits, so they were all in there where you could see them. So they just made better displays, if you will. You had a few gold records, friends, just a few. Here they have a display, friends, of famous people talking about their Elvis influences. This right here is a suit that was worn by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. You see Trisha Yearwood, there's Buddy Holly. We'll just glance through here. Well, this is cool. This is knickknacks from everywhere, and they're just marked J&G. Just different Elvis things, and there's a lot of them. There's a TV that he evidently watched Robert Goulet. It's shot out. There it is. That's the results of Robert Goulet right there, friends. Don't believe me? Look it up. This is really cool. Elvis's personal Bible. It's a book he shot a hole in. Some reading. Did you see this gunshot? He didn't like a book or a TV. He shot it. In later years, when he got his DEA license, friends, he would use this blue light and actually go out and try to do police work. He would show up at police scenes where they were working. Friends, when I first, if you watch the Vernon house video, these golf carts were behind Vernon's house at that barn over on the far right corner of Graceland. In that barn, there are actually two of them were up under an overhang, and they had the snowmobiles. I could see some of them inside that building. There was a bunch of those Jetstar snowmobiles inside that building over there. And these are Elvis's actual motorcycles. I believe that may be the one that him and the young lady are on, and I'm gonna go find where that happened at. She actually passed away later. She got killed in a car wreck, but it's either that one or the one behind it. One of those two Harleys right there. Old Honda, racing go-kart, and another one of those. These were called Centaur Rooks, and there was a guy out of Arizona that was that was creating these kits that they were converting from. Most of these have Volkswagen engines in them. There's the original John Deere tractor. They bought it for the farm over in Circle G Ranch, which I have videos about, or working on videos about. And this is the old tractor. It's been redone, but this was Elvis's personal John Deere tractor. Snowmobile that they took the runners off of and put wheels on it. And they would crash them into each other. So here it is, friends. I got Gladys's Diner, got Vernon's Barbecue, theater down there, Presley Motors Car Museum right here. They've got the comparison, the influence museum where all the people are talking about their influences of Elvis. They've got the jumpsuits. Pretty cool little place. It's a lot more to look at now over here, which makes sense. It's a lot nicer, but there's also a few things, a few corners cut in my opinion that they could have done better with. So I'm taking the glory up so you can see this is the new Elvis stuff that I just took you through. Those are the buildings that I was inside of, and if you'll notice, it's shaped like a record at the entrance, right in the middle in the front, and then it kind of circles to the right. The thing right dead in the center is the ticket office, and then the shuttles load all the way to the left-hand side. You can see where the ground is open. Right there is Graceland. I'm not over their property at all, so I'm not doing anything I'm not supposed to do. But where that dirt is at is where the ticket offices used to be. If you've been there before, that's where all those buildings are, and they are gone now. They told me they're going to turn that into a park, a place for people to hang out and sit, so they won't be rebuilding anything there. But that is the new facilities that I was just inside of. But if you stay tuned, friends, I'm going to show you a little bit more stuff. Just hang right there. Stay tuned. So, friends, you heard it here first. I am the Spa Guy. Don't forget to subscribe. And you ain't nothing but a hound dog. And tighten up, friends, every chance you get.